Good morning students. Welcome to the English class. All of you open your textbook, page number 42. Today we'll learn the new lesson, bird migration. Bird migration. Before going through the lesson, we'll know what is migration. Migration means moving from one place to another for some purpose. So migration means what, children? Movement from one place to another, maybe human beings, animals or birds. So movement from one place to another place for some purpose. Purpose means reasons, for some reasons. Okay. Human beings. So we'll go through the lesson. Lesson number 4, bird migration. Human beings move from their birthplace to other place for jobs or work. We human beings, we move from one place to another place. From one place, so now think, your birthplace is Sirsi. So when you grow older, what you will do for your education purpose, or you may get any job, or to search any work, you will go for different places. You will migrate to different places. You will move to different place. So that is what? That is migration. Migration means moving from one place to another for some purpose. In this lesson, we'll learn about bird migration. Why do birds migrate? What are the reasons for migration of birds from one place to another place? Okay, so we'll learn about the migration of birds in this lesson. So they also visit different places. Okay, we human beings, we will also visit different places. Moving from one place to another for some purpose is migrating. So moving from one place to another place for some reason, it is what? It is migrating. Birds, like human beings, move from their native land to other lands in search of food or shelter. Like human beings, birds also what they will do, children? Birds, they will go from one place to another place in search of food and in search of shelter. Shelter means a house to stay or to build their nest. Okay, when the climate is not suitable for them to survive in their native lands, when so the birds in their native lands, in their birthplace, if the climate is not suitable for them to survive means to live, then what they will do? Then they will migrate to different places for food and shelter, students. So there is one activity. Before reading the text, work with a partner and answer the following questions. Base your answers on your knowledge of the topic. Okay, this I will give you as a homework. Discuss with your parents. Okay, children, discuss with your parents. There are some questions. What words would you use to describe animals and birds? So what are the words you will use to describe animals and birds? So there are some words: amphibious, aquatic, caged, cold-blooded, domestic, endangered, furry, horned. There are different words to describe birds and animals. So what are the words you use to describe birds and animals that you have to discuss with your parents, children? What are the birds commonly seen in your locality? You have to write the names of the birds which you have seen in your locality. Why do you think birds migrate? So what are the reasons for migration of birds? Then how do you think birds warn us of climate changes? Okay, so how do you think that birds will tell us about the climatic changes. Maybe they may sing, okay, they may sing and tell that the winter is over and spring has come. So they give different signs, they give different symbols where they tell that climate has changed. Okay, so these four questions you have to discuss with your parents. I will keep it as a homework for you. Now keep your finger on your books, children. Go through the lesson. Birds are a man's and the environment's best friends. They could be kept as pets. They can perform marvelous feats. Like human beings who go in search of job opportunities to earn their living, birds travel from place to place for different reasons. Their movement is seasonal. There are surprising facts about their movement. So these birds, they are man's also and environment's also best friends. Birds, animals, human beings, trees, insects, we all living beings on the environment, on the earth, we are dependent upon each other on in one or the other way. So birds are also best friends of human beings and are also best friends of the environment. So they could be kept as pets. So many birds can be kept as pet birds. For example, see, parrots, peacocks, yes or no? Parrots, peacocks, pigeons. So there are many birds where some people, they keep them as their pets in their houses. They can perform marvelous feats. Okay, they can do amazing, astonishing. Okay, they can do amazing achievements. They can do different works also. Birds, they can do different work. Okay, they can perform marvelous, amazing feats. So in olden days, you all know that the kings, what they used to do, they used to send letters and all to other kingdom through the birds itself. Yes or no, children? Through birds itself. So it is said that they can perform marvelous achievements. Okay, they can do what amazing achievements. Like human beings who go in search of job opportunities to earn their living, birds travel from place to place for different reasons. Human beings, they go to different places for in search of job and work, like to earn their living, to earn food. What they will do, they go for different places to search job. Like human beings, birds also, they travel from one place to another place for different reasons. For different reasons, what they will do, the birds, they travel from one place to another place. Their movement is seasonal. Okay, their movement is seasonal. So according to seasons, what they will do, they will move from one place to another place. Children, our earth, it is divided into two hemisphere, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Okay, children, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. You all know that earth revolves around the sun. When northern hemisphere is towards the sun, it gets the direct rays of the sun. Okay, then there will be summer. The other part, the southern hemisphere, which is away from the sun, gets slanting rays of sun. Because of that, there will be winter season. So when the southern hemisphere is towards the sun, then the southern hemisphere will be having summer season and the northern hemisphere will be having winter season. Okay, the birds which are in the northern hemisphere, when the winter season comes, what they do, the climate is not suitable for them to survive because it will be severe cold there. Okay, it will be severe cold. So when the season changes, what happens, the birds, birds, they travel to different places where the season is suitable for them to survive. So their movement is seasonal. According to the seasons, the birds migrate from one place to another place, children. There are surprising facts about their movement. There are surprising truths. Facts means truths about the movement of the birds, children. Understood? So, birds are man's and environment's best friends. They are kept as pets. They can do marvelous achievements. In olden days, what they kings, they used to send messages through letters to another kingdom by what? By the by birds. Okay, by birds. So like human beings and birds also, they migrate from one place to another place for different reasons. Their movement is seasonal. According to season, the birds, they travel from one place to another place. And about this movement, there are surprising realities. There are surprising truths about the migration of birds. The migration of birds is as old as history of mankind. We human beings, we have history. Okay, we have old history. From olden days also, we human beings have history. So the migration of birds also has old history. Yet it's a surprise. Though it is a history, migration of bird is a history, but also it is a surprise for us. Okay, but also when we study about the migration of birds, it is a surprise for us. Why do birds keep migrating from place to place? Okay, there is no satisfactory answer. Okay, so we do not get one satisfied answer that why birds are moving from one place to another place. However, there are many facts relating to the amazing phenomenon called bird migration. So, though there is no satisfactory answer for the reason of birds migrating from place to place, but also there are many realities, there are many facts related to this amazing phenomenon. Marvelous means astonishing. Okay, marvelous means astonishing. There are different facts, there are different reality related to the phenomenon. Phenomenon means fact related to the fact called a bird migration. For bird migration. Okay, the word migration refers to the movement of birds from one place to another, from lowlands to highlands and from the interior to the sea coast. So children, what is migration? The word migration, before only I have told you all, the word migration, it refers to the movements of birds from one place to another place. How birds move? Birds move from lowlands. Lowlands means flat land. Okay, birds move from lowlands to highlands. Highland means mountainous areas. Birds, how do they move? They move from flat lands to mountainous areas, and from interior to the sea coast, and from the interior of the continents to the sea coast. Sea coast means the part of the land near the sea. Okay, the part of the land near the sea. The birds, they move from flat land to mountainous areas, and also from center of the continent to the sea coast, means the part of the land near the sea. Okay children, birds migrate for various reasons. For different reasons, birds, what they do? They migrate. For instance, it is observed that during winter, birds go to warmer places because some of them cannot survive. See, first reason for migration of bird is, okay, for migration of birds is, so for example, it is observed that during winter season, birds, what they do? They go to warmer places because they cannot bear the severe cold of the winter season, and some birds they cannot survive. Because of that, what they do, they go in search of warmer places and they build their nests there, and they what they survive, they live in the warmer places. And once the weather is changed, what they will do, they will move back to their own native places. The birds that feed on insects will not be able to find their food in winter, and also in winter season the birds which eat insects and survive. Okay, the birds which have food as insects, they cannot find any insects in the winter season. In a northern part of the earth and all, what it is, when it is cold, so there is a snowfall and whole land is covered with snow. So at that time there will be birds, they do not find any insects to eat. Because of that, what happens, they will migrate from the cold regions to the warmer regions. Weather conditions alone would not make birds migrate. Not only weather conditions, okay, but also there are different conditions which makes birds to migrate from one place to another. Okay, children, birds migrate depending on the seasons. Okay, birds, they migrate depending upon the season, winter season or summer season. Depending upon the seasons, the more birds migrate. The birds move from one place to another place. How do the birds identify the seasonal changes? We can understand the changes in the season, but how these birds will understand the seasonal changes, let us know that. It is said that birds can find the seasonal changes by knowing the length of the day. By knowing the length of the day. So sometimes for some seasons, in some seasons, what happens, the days will be longer and the nights will be shorter, and in some season, days will be shorter and nights will be longer. So knowing about the length of the day, so they will know about the change in the season. It is also believed that birds can understand it when days get shorter and when they get longer. And also it is said that birds, they can understand when the days will be shorter and when the days will be longer. Okay, and when the days will be longer, that time what they will do, the birds, they migrate from one place to another place. This ability in birds functions like an alarm clock. Okay, this ability of knowing the shorter days and the longer days, it acts like an alarm clock. It warns the birds about the seasons, and by reminding that what the birds will do, they will migrate to the places where the climate is suitable for them to survive. Where the climate is suitable for them to live. Survive means where the climate is suitable for them to live. Birds breed in summer, and this is also connected with migration. During this season, birds migrate northward. The change in length of the days and the lack of food tell the bird to migrate to suitable places. The breeding instinct helps them migrate up north. In late summer, many birds fly down south. Sometimes they travel to different continents and return to their nests in their own country in spring. Their ability to find their home is as amazing as their readiness to migrate. So birds breed in summer. Birds, they give birth to their young ones. Breed means giving birth to young ones. Birds, they give birth to young ones in summer season, and this is also connected with migration. So the breeding time of the birds, this also is connected to with the migration during this season. Okay, during the breeding period of the birds, what they will do, birds migrate northward. Okay, birds, they migrate to the north pole of the earth. The change in the length of days. Okay, when there is change in length of days, and when there is lack of food means when there is shortage of food, tell the bird to migrate to suitable places. So the length of days and scarcity of food, when there is less availability of food, that tells the birds to migrate to different places which are suitable for them to survive. The breeding instinct helps them migrate up north. Okay, the breeding, the giving birth of young ones, instinct means typically fixed pattern of behavior. Their typical behavior. Okay, their typical fixed pattern of behavior during breeding helps them to migrate up north. In late summer, many birds fly down south, and in late summer, what birds will do? They fly down to south, children. Sometimes they travel to different continents and return to their nest in their own country in spring season. Sometimes what these birds will do, these birds will fly away to different continents and they return back to their own country. Okay, and they return back to their own country in spring season. Spring season, it is a very pleasant season. Okay, it is a very pleasant season where we can hear the melodious sounds of birds. Okay, so the spring season, it is suitable for each and everyone, human beings, animals, birds, insects. So when spring season comes, so the whole nature is filled with joy, So in a spring season, what the birds will do? The birds will come back to their own country. Their ability to find their home is as amazing as their readiness to migrate. So they will understand the length of the day, and they will understand there is the lack of food for them. So they will migrate to different places. In the same way, they will come back to their own place. So this ability is very amazing. Returning back to their home, returning back to their native places, returning back to their own country. That fact is amazing. As the readiness to migrate. Have you all understood, children? Birds, they give birth to their young ones in summer season. So, and during this season, what they will do? They will migrate to northward. Okay. So, birds, they can understand the length of the days and the lack of food. When the length of the day differs and when there is lack of food, the birds, what they will do? They will migrate to suitable places. And the breeding instinct, the behavior of breeding helps birds, helps them to migrate up north. When their breeding period comes, what they will do? They move to north. And in summer season also, many birds, they fly down south. So sometimes what happens? The birds, they travel to different continents. Okay, they go to different continents and return to their nest in the to their own country in spring season. In spring season, they come back to their own country. Their ability to find their home. They have also the capacity to find the home, and it is very amazing, like readiness to migrate. So we'll go for next paragraph, children. How do birds find their way home? So you all know that birds, they do not have houses like us, yes or no? So that we can come and reach our houses. We will be knowing the areas of our houses, we will be knowing the places of our houses, we will be having the address of our houses. So we will come back to our own house though we go anywhere. But how these birds will come back to their own house? Let's see. Let us see. There is a belief that birds can understand the magnetic fields that surround the earth. There is a magnetic field around our earth. So these birds, they can understand this magnetic field. Okay, these magnetic fields run from the north to south poles. The magnetic fields, they run from northern pole to southern pole of the earth. So perhaps the birds are directed themselves by these lines of force. By these lines of magnetic force, birds are directed to go back to their own country, to go back to their native land, to go back to their places of birth. However, this theory has not been proved, though it is said that they will go back to their native places through magnetic fields which run from south pole to north pole, but also this theory is not proved. Thank you, children. We'll learn the remaining part of the lesson in our next class. I hope you have understood the lesson. If you have any doubt, please contact me. Thank you.